All right, what is going on, fam? Welcome to this quarantine dating focused Q&A. You guys always ask me a bunch of questions in regards to dating with my personal life and then also just in general, and I feel like relationships, dating is a very big part of life. So within quarantine, I wanted to do a dating Q&A. So you guys had some very fun and interesting questions. If you guys are new to my channel, welcome. My name is Noel Arevalo. My YouTube channel is like more so lifestyle fitness based. So make sure that you thumbs up this video if you like it. And you make sure to subscribe to see me in the next one. Let's get into the nitty gritty, the dirty laundry secrets. Is that how it would go? I don't know. So what's the biggest turnoff for you in a man? The first things that come to mind, quality-wise or like characteristics, would be how they treat other people. I think it says so much about someone's character on how they treat strangers and people that they don't know. And they treat complete strangers like as if they were their best friends and are just super kind and generous. That's a huge turn on for me. So if it's opposite of that, like if they treat people like garbage because they're just a random person, like that's a huge turn off. Physical, a big turn off would be hygiene. Like if their teeth aren't clean, or like, you know, they have like crusts in their eyeballs still, like they didn't wash their face in the mornings. Like, what's the biggest deal breaker for you in a relationship? So the biggest deal breaker for me within a relationship would be, trying to date somebody who's insecure. I've done it in the past and it does not work. It's very exhausting. And an insecure person is somebody who just doesn't trust you for no reason because of their own inner insecurities. So a big deal breaker for me would definitely have to be, I couldn't date somebody who's insecure. I've done it before, and let me save you a lot of time and energy. Don't do it. The next one, would you ever date someone that does not share the same religious belief as you? So if you guys aren't familiar with my like just faith background, I am Christian. I'm not perfect, but I do believe in God. I was raised Christian. I was raised in church, like the whole nine. My mom was a Christian like worship singer, and then my dad was an usher. Like we were like heavily involved. I've actually asked myself that recently, because going into who I'm gonna date next, I don't wanna waste my time with dating anymore. That's why I'm single, because I really wanna be picky about the person that I date going forward, because I'm looking at it very long term. I wouldn't be against dating somebody who isn't necessarily Christian. It would obviously be amazing if I did date somebody with a background of Christianity, because that would be so awesome to like pray together, go to church together, and already just kind of have a built foundation of what that faith is like, and being able to like, I don't know, like share that together. That would be absolutely amazing. But it wouldn't necessarily be a deal breaker for me if I met somebody who was absolutely amazing with how picky I am. I'm not gonna pass that up even if they didn't share the same faith background as me. But they would definitely have to be open to coming to church with me and stuff like that. So it wouldn't be a deal breaker for me. I would date somebody who wasn't raised Christian. Are you single? And if you are, would you date me? Well, honey, send in your resume, boo-boo. No, I'm just kidding. I would have to get to know you and know what you look like in order to know that if I would even date you or not. But I mean, I think that goes for all of us. Am I single right now? Yes, I'm very single. I always say very because I'm very single and I'm embracing it. The next person who I date, I want to take my dating very intentional. And how you live your dating life is how it's gonna be. So like if you're kind of just out there mingling, dating, not being serious, you're putting out that energy, that's the kind of people you're gonna attract. You're not gonna attract serious people who wanna be in relationships and who wanna be with somebody seriously. So I'm trying to be very intentional about my dating. So yes, I'm single right now. I'm not gonna settle. There's a lot of things that I want in a person. I know you have to take the good with the bad, and I'm open to that, but I'm just not gonna settle. So yes, I'm very single right now, and I'm content being single until I feel that I find the right person that it would work with. And I'm very excited about that. I look forward to being with someone that we could grow together. We could just like share love, experiences, adventure. Like I'm very much looking forward to being in a relationship in that sense, but like I'm very content and happy being single, if that makes sense. So, most embarrassing sex story. Okay, I'm not gonna get into the details of this because it's just too much. But what I will say is it was with one of my long-term boyfriends, and it had to do with a situation with the tampon. That's what I'm gonna leave it at. I'm not gonna get into the details because that's just a little too explicit even for me to share. So yes, most embarrassing sex story, it had to do with a tampon, period. We're done with that question. Okay, watch your parents have sex every day for the rest of your life, or join in once to never see it again. This is sick. Who comes up with this question? Neither. That's a big thing for me. I mean, first of all, I just can't even, I know. And a big like thing for me, I don't know what you would call it. It wouldn't be like a pet peeve, but like if there's been a few times that I've heard other people I know having sex, and that's like, I know it's a thing. Obviously I've had sex, whatever. But if I hear other people having sex, like that is the most disgusting thing to me ever. What do you look for in a guy? There's so many things that I look for in someone. That's probably hence why I'm still single. How they treat other people, like I said that in one of the questions before. How they treat other people, like an honest person, a faithful person, a respectful person, someone who has a lot of ambition, drive. Another huge thing for me that like, you don't even have to be like the finest thing in the world for me to like want to pursue you is humor. If you have good humor, that just goes so far for me. Being able to hold like good, deep, like stimulating conversations, that is a huge thing for me. Being a good kisser is a big thing for me. And like family oriented, adventurous, spontaneous. You definitely have to take care of yourself. You don't have to be the biggest, buffest person in the world. Like that's actually, I don't care to date someone who's super big and buff. I just think that that's not optimal in general. No, I do have a type. My type that I gravitate towards offhand, like what I feel my type is white boys. I love white boys so much. Whether it's light features, like blonde hair, blue eye, whether it's dark features, dark hair, brown eyes, like white boys are like my kryptonite, you know what I'm saying? But not saying that I haven't dated other races, but like that's my go-to. That's my, you know what I'm saying? What are my love languages? So quality time, it would be between quality time and physical touch. Definitely, I love quality time. Physical touch, I am all about like public affection. I love kissing. I love holding hands. I love holding. All about it. So definitely physical touch, and then words of affirmation. Those are very powerful for me as well. So all three of those, but that's how I would list them. So it'd be like quality time, physical touch, I love me some kisses, and then also words of affirmation. If the sex is bad, is that a deal breaker for you? No, it's not. And I want to give this, like, some of you are probably like, bitch, are you crazy? I actually dated somebody, one of my long-term boyfriends, and for 2 years, there was not much communication that happens to be able to work and make it better. This was like when I was younger. And so there was like a lot of faked orgasms, if I'm being honest. And it just was like, I wasn't like present half the time because it was so bad. But let me bring hope to some of you guys in relationships where the sex potentially isn't good. For me, sex isn't like the top of my priority lists. Obviously, I love and appreciate a great sex life, especially if it's gonna be the only person that I'm doing it with. But I dated someone and it wasn't good, and I loved him so much that I really, really wanted to make it work. So I seeked out other people and like obviously close people to me and talked to them about it and stuff. Anyways, then when I finally like communicated what I liked, because everyone has their different love languages in the bed too, like what they like, right? Their turn on. So as soon as I communicated how I felt about our sex life and that it wasn't good, and then, you know, we communicated in the bedroom, it ended up being some of the best like sex I've ever had in my life. So, no, it's not a deal breaker for me. And if you are facing that in a relationship right now, just know that there is hope and you can work and make it better. How to maintain independence in a relationship and not have it become codependent. So that is very, very important, and it's something that you have to be so mindful of on a daily and weekly basis, especially if you're like living with somebody. You guys do become one in a sense. And so making sure that, you know, even if you're dating someone where you guys do everything together, I've been in a relationship like that and it worked, but that relationship did become very codependent to an extent. So what I would say is making sure that, I'm so sorry you guys, my hair is driving me crazy. Making sure that you keep your individual time. Like you have your you time, you hang out with your family separately from him or her from you. You hang out with your friends. You have your you time. You still do things that you love. Because what happens in a relationship is you guys start compromising, and then sometimes the person will stop doing the things that they love to continue to do the things that they love. Like if you guys have a date night or something like that, like making sure to like stay very individual with what you do. Making sure that you are still doing everything that you would do if you were single. It's really that simple. When you start feeling like you need them to like fill a void, that's when you need to step back and kind of evaluate why you feel that way, because that is a sign of codependency when you like seek them for happiness, or you seek them, you know what I mean? Like you should be happy internally. What are your thoughts on birth control? Hard no. Naturally, intuitively, I've just never ever been a fan of birth control. Something in me was just kind of like, I don't really like to take pills like that if it's unnecessary. Do you know what I mean? Like there's other forms of protection. I don't know. I want to have kids in the future, and I just think it's really weird that like they suggest to you to, literally they tell you to get off birth control like 2 to 3 years before you plan on having kids. And I just think it's so weird how it tricks your body into thinking it's pregnant. I just think it's very unnatural. I've heard a lot of stories of people having really bad, you know, just like their hormones just being all over the place after they get off of it. And I've also heard of people struggling to get pregnant because they were on it for so many years beforehand, and now they're trying to have kids and it's like difficult. So for me, not a fan of birth control. No, hard no. Hard no, mamacita. What do you define as cheating? So there's a lot of different forms of cheating, obviously. I've never personally been cheated on that I know of. If I was cheated on, they're really good at hiding it because I've never been cheated on to my knowing. Cheating, you guys, there's so many different forms of it. If you're doing something where you wouldn't want your partner to know about it and it's with another person, it's cheating. So there's like emotional cheating with like, you know, talking to them every day, confiding in them, being vulnerable with them, talking to them about stuff and confiding in them about stuff that you should be confiding in with your partner about. Like that's emotional cheating. That's honestly worse in my opinion. And then there's physical cheating, obviously. Anything like kissing somebody, having sex with someone, doing sexual things with somebody, like there's different forms of cheating. So to define them, I would say emotional and then physical. What are your views on porn and your significant other watching it? So I don't think that there's necessarily anything wrong with porn. It definitely gives some unrealistic expectations, if we're all being honest, because you know we ain't bending over backwards and doing cartwheels like those girls in porn do. Not on a daily basis. I don't think there's anything wrong with it, and especially if you have a healthy sex life and you know maybe your partner wants to spice it up and watch it together or whatever, like I don't think that there's anything wrong with watching it. But if it's something to where like you guys are, you know, you have a consistent healthy sex life and then you find them watching it, you know, every day, then there's an issue there, because there could be like sex addiction to that, like a sex addict type of a thing going on. So if it's like everything needs to be in moderation, right? So if the person is watching it excessively and you guys are already having sex often, then I definitely think that you need to step in and have a conversation with them, because me personally, that I feel would start eating at my self-esteem, and it probably would make you question, you know, why they're doing that, and it would just make you feel a type of way about yourself, when just know that it's not you, it's whatever they're dealing with. All right, you guys, and that's gonna conclude that YouTube Q&A, quarantine Q&A. That's gonna conclude that Q&A. That hopefully it brought you some kind of clarity with questions that you're struggling about in your own dating life, and gave you a little insight to my dating life. If you guys liked the video, make sure to hit that thumbs up. It helps me out so much. Make sure to subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. I love you. I hope everyone's staying healthy and safe in this very interesting, you know, unique time where we're all in quarantine. Hate using that word. And you guys are focusing on the positive, because that's the most important thing to do currently. So I love you guys. Hope you enjoyed that video, and I'll see you in the next one.